Here we go, people. Welcome to some 10NL Zoom on Pokerstars.com. It's Razuya Poker here, playing 4 tables at once. It basically equates to roughly 1,000 hands an hour, depending on the speed in which you play. I found it super profitable, and I guess in terms of learning, very, very, very good. The reason I say very, very, very good is, I guess we check with the 6-9. Is mainly because you get into so many different spots that you are very quick to learn. If you can adapt, you are very quick to learn. So learning that, maybe just cold calling a 3-bet with jacks pre-flop's better than 4-betting, because when you get shoved on, what are you doing? Are you going to call? Are you going to fold? What are you up against, With the 5s, we can just fold here. We could call 1 street, but we're out of position, so I'd rather not. So yeah, everything from sort of, judging an opponent's range post-flop with different statistics. So I have Poker Tracker 4, which I'm running with the HUD, as you can see all the statistics on the screen. For those that don't know, Poker Tracker 4 is software that you can use while playing mostly every online poker room that you can. And you can obviously keep stats. Things like, attempt to steal, all that sort of stuff. So this player's stealing about 40% of the time, so we're going to use our Queen Jack and position this little button to extract a fold, and we do. If we get called, that's cool. We can still be in position the whole way. I'm going to 3-bet with the jacks. This is a shortish stack min-raising pre-flop, which to me is always usually very weak. We can check this board because that's usually within their calling range, like 9-10, King 10. I guess we'll have to put out a bet on the turn here. It just shows weakness with a snap check behind. Most players in that position would be check raising if they had the King X hand. So we just make little notes like that, which help us, later on we may or may not ever play them again. This play is folding to the C bet like never. We can probably just check here. They're probably going to float with any sort of king, queen-ish hands. Ace, king. We'll c-bet on this dry board. We'll fold the 6-7. This player's probably raising or calling here, given the statistics. I think we can fire out. Obviously, we don't have to make it a huge bet, just enough to get the king X. If they float again, that's cool, because we're going to showdown here with the best hand regardless, if nothing, no paint hits. I think we can call a bet here, just because, you could get missed flush draws and things like that. So that player was playing very passively, even with a pair. So yeah. Ace 3 off, we'll just open that. The Doyle hand will fold. Decent flop from the button raise. We can check behind. Helps disguise our hand. That ace really helps disguise our hand. Because it's unlikely now that with 2 aces on the board that, a button raise is holding an ace X, especially if they check. So you can extract a lot of value out of those hands here if they have, king 7 or 7-8. Usually get them to call the turn and then maybe the river for a value bet. We'll just go showdown value with the deuce. We get wrecked by 4s, which is pretty fine. Folding the 4-5 off. Get 3-bet with ace-5, that's an easy fold. We are obviously in position, but we don't want to get into too many tricky spots. We're going to put in a squeeze here. We'll make it $1.10. $1.10 to $1.30, I guess, is fine. 90-ish isn't really that great because you want to value this ace-king suited as much as you can. We get 3-bet, ace-10. We're suited, but we're out of position. We're obviously getting huge odds here. I'm going to wait for a better spot. I have no information on that villain. I know it seems pretty nitty-ish to some people, but just knowing that you're going into the flop with really the idea that you probably need to make a flush or a straight, You can't really assume an ace X hand like ace 10 especially is any good. I'm going to call once with a 7-3. I just feel like if we hit a 7 or a 3, we're in better shape. We're getting good odds. Now I think we can fold, but I want to stay in the hand. See what we're up against. It wouldn't be surprising if it goes back call again anyway. Interesting. Ace Queen, we're going to raise it up. Someone min raises. We don't like min raises. I think we'll just call with the Jack 9. Gut shot to the second nuts. If we get checked at like that, I'm usually just bleeding out. Wow. So min raise pre-flop, no c-bet equal weak. Make a note on that player that they're noobing it up by not c-betting. Ace Jack, can we squeeze here? Yeah. Can we have a better hand to squeeze with? Absolutely. But the whole point of squeezing here is obviously we can win the pot pre. If we do go to the flop and players have, you know, 7s, 9s, 6s, king, queen, we can outflop them mostly all the time. And if not, we have position and we can get them to fold with a decent sized c-bet if it's dry enough. So that's sort of the reasoning behind squeezing with ace jack. Queen 9, do we have nits? We've got some knitters. That's a nit. Smooth call with ace king. Yeah, why not? Let's mix it up. Out of position. I haven't got many hands of this opponent, so can we float? We can float once. Obviously with the set, we just want to get the money in. That player's 50% pot size bet equals weak. Here we can just get away. Flush has got there, queen jack, king jack. You know, there's pocket fives, things like that that may lead out again, but it looks like we can just give the hand up. So playing ace king a little bit unorthodox. Thing is, you know, if that player has ace jack, ace queen, ace 10, you know, ace rag, and the flop comes ace deuce 6, and they barrel us, we can shove the river, and then they're pretty much valued into call. I'm going to smooth call with the 9s out of position. Let's check. Sometimes I'll donk lead if it came like king deuce 4. I'm pretty much going to donk lead rather than check raise. Sometimes as well, you'll notice that my play style here, so if this player doesn't, under the gun, just got reading the notes. Okay, so we can make a note on this player here. Pre-flop raise, no c-bet on king jack x equals weak. Picking up dead money is always good. Think of it as a big blind. Every big blind counts, right? Every big blind helps your win rate over, you know, however many thousands or hundreds of thousands of hands you are looking to play. Jack 8, that is fine. This player looks to me nitty, but it's not a big enough hand sample, and I haven't really played anything. That's a perfect flop for us to c-bet on. You don't have to do it too hugely either. A7, 5 is fine. That's it. 8, 5 is a fold. Ace Queen off's an awesome hand to have sort of in the hijackish area. If you get 3-bet, it's fine. This player is... Let's raise it up. Reason being, they're pretty nitty. I've marked them as a nit, so if they're 4-betting us, we can fold. Do we check back? Can we get them to fold here? What hands would they be just smoothing us with? Ace King? Yeah, probably. Ace Jack? Maybe. Ace Jack suited, maybe. If it's Ace Jack, we're ahead. I will call here. So the player had 9s. Apparently, I've seen that person before. They just commented because obviously they realized that I was streaming or have been streaming. Oh man, I need to like fix my memory bank. We'll check call when that river comes a jack. Just because obviously a king, if you bet and get raised, I mean, what can you do? It's better to check call. Oh, actually, I do remember that guy. He followed on one of my last streams. I remember. Thanks for paying attention to who you're playing, dude, and thanks for whilst making a video, give a shout out to the stream. Appreciate it. What's this guy? Yeah, we don't want to get involved. Jack 6. So what did that player have when we had the Jack X? Aces. Oh, what? They didn't protect their hand that well. We got there on the river. Yeah, we can raise this up. Pretty nitty-ish player. This player I maybe shouldn't have raised with. He's been 3-betting not a lot, so I think it's still safe to make that steal attempt on the button. We can pretty much safely steal here a fair bit with the a6 suited. If we get called, obviously we have pretty decent equity against multi-way pot if we flop sort of any draw or trips. Squeeze it up. Playing pretty loose, so we're gonna just fold. Don't want to 3-bet and get called by his queen. Ugh, this player just shoves like a maniac. I'm going to fold, but I want to stay in the hand. Okay, so we get called. Could this player have ace-queen? Probably. Do we need to c-bet? I feel like we do. We're showing strength already, so if we get called, we can give up a lot. If not, obviously, even though the queen's out there, we could still come home and take the pot down if they have, 8s or 9s, but it's highly unlikely that if they're betting the river, they probably have it. So we can just go ahead and check. Should go check, check. If it goes check, bet, I mean, maybe we can call. Depends on the value of how much they bet. I just feel like king, queen rocks up here a fair bit. Why would they check the turn, though? That line that they've got there doesn't make sense for him to check the turn. Could be a busted flush draw or tens. They just flat called the 3-bet, didn't they? So it could be ace, king, or tens. I think we have to call. Let me know what you think. Yeah, that's disguise enough. I mean, I sort of have to pay that person off there, I believe, long term. Their hand just looked like a misdraw or a smaller pocket pair trying to just what they think is get value. So we'll check that ace. It's obviously a good card for us, but we don't want to get too crazy and build the pot up. They pot it. We're just folding. I feel like that's a flush a lot of the time. A crappy flush, but a flush, and it doesn't give us the right odds to call without jack high flush. Anyway. Let's fire again with the jack 9. It's a really good flop for jack 9. And we can check back here a lot of the time. Yeah, I'd be interested to hear your comments on the pocket jacks. We did the right thing pre. Obviously, we want to sort of squeeze out any hands like ace queenish. We can raise this up. I don't know why this player is limping in the small blind unless they have like a super monster. In which case, if I get 3-bet, we pretty much can fold unless they make it cheap enough. I'm going to snap check back here. Likely that they're not going to lead, and we can just look like we were trying to steal. And this sort of sets up our betting or raising. I mean, what are they doing leading out with 20 cents for? It's really hard for us to put them on a strong hand when people lead out for such a small amount. That card obviously has probably hit them in terms of their 8-9x or whatever. So when they lead on the river, we can't really call now. But I think we did the right thing in raising the turn. Snap checking the flop is obviously to disguise the king jack. Okay, so now they value betting, are they? Obviously, we're looking to put in a bet with the ace queen. We'll squeeze with the ace king. 80 cents. Getting 4 to 1 on a call. Snap call, 80 cents. So you knit too. I feel like we're beat here. I mean, what can we beat? King queen we even lose to, right? But we have to be right 1 in 4 times. Ace 10. We have 9, 10. Called the turn raise. 6, 7, 8, 9. The probs have 9. I think we have to pay them off given the percentage here. 10, 9. Okay. Well, I guess we lost the minimum, but in the same time, they sort of bet perfectly to get a king X to call. So we can just note that once I fold these hands here, so they basically set themselves up to lose the minimum. Our check on the flop obviously enabled them to hit, but how, like in that situation, I feel like it's fine to snap check back as well. With the jacks, we'll put in a 3-bet. We're making it a little bit smaller than usual. The reason being, obviously, in terms of stack sizing and things like that. But more importantly, I'm just sort of getting a feel for what works and what doesn't work. Turn cards are a gem. Now we really want sixes, a set of sixes to come along. We can jam here a lot and get called by a lot of draws and 2 pairish hands. Jamming here, I think I like more than just putting in a decent raise, to be honest. Ace queen will obviously be leading out with when it gets checked to us. Fold, fold. With aces, obviously we want a bit of action, but we don't get any. It's really good to get aces sort of in the hijack or button-ish, because when the non-believers 3-bet you, you can assess what to do from there and usually get max value. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. Tune into my next video if you like. There's a few links in the description below. I'll put my Twitch, Twitter, all that sort of randomness if you want to check it out. Like the video and comment would be appreciated on my gameplay, whether it's constructive or just a random comment that you might think you'll be able to give use to myself with. So catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.